It's Top Fuel Racing, live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
We are back live here on ESPN. I am back in the booth for the first time in a long while. My name is Sam Cavetta, and we are here for the return of the Pasky's Cardiac Cup Series. And we are here back in the West Coast as we go to Auto Club Speedway here in Fontana. Round 7 of the series. And who can forget what an exciting season we've had so far here tonight, and get themselves on the board. We've had quite a few different winners already this season. Only Jeff Hollingsworth is the repeat winner this season. But tonight it's going to be fast paced, it's going to be very hard fought, and it's going to be very close between these guys. We've got 17 drivers set to take the green here tonight for 150 laps, and we're just about to tick over into qualifying. Rob Jenkins currently fastest in practice. So who's going to bring out the big guns tonight? Who's going to come out on top? Let's find out as we are about to take over. Just before we go anywhere, let's give a shout out to the channel sponsor, that's iRacing iFlag. Go to iRacingIFlag.com and see what they have on offer. And remember, if you do decide to buy something, make sure you put the promo code in as esports 2019 and you'll get 15% off your very own iFlag. So why not go to iRacingIFlag.com today and see what they have on offer and get yourself a deal right there. But now we are going to go into it. We are going to go straight into qualifying now for tonight's race. And let's see who can get the all-important pole as we head towards this race. Hello to Judy Jenkins in the chat again, as always. Hope you didn't miss us too much while we were away during the All-Star Week, while they were having a bit of fun out there on the dirt and at Martinsville. But regardless, we are here tonight for tonight's race, and let's go straight into it, shall we? We have qualifying underway right now, so let's go straight into it. As well, I've got a big camera pack for this one. We're going to focus on Jeff Hollingsworth right now. What is he going to put up right here? Because he is a man that's been on a charge this season. He has been really throwing the gauntlet down to everybody out on the field here this season. But there is the growing threat of Michael Trevarthen, Stephen Parks has been up there as well. Rob Jenkins has been absolutely on a tear this season as well. Unfortunately had some bad luck in the last race that involved himself and another driver. Unfortunately, a very unfortunate mistake by Rob Jenkins that ended his and another person's race. But in qualifying, Byron Rodney going up to third, but Mark Vega really putting down the times there up to the pole position as he puts in a 40.528. You see him there in the M&M's inspired number 18. Kevin Pasky there putting in a 41.308 ahead of Stephen Parks, who's currently the last driver to put a time in. Ernie Ludwig, I believe, making his debut tonight, and he puts himself on the top of the board here in that number 26 machine. And a very pretty looking Camaro, I will say. Take a look at Charlie Woods. He's currently out on track right now, driving for No Limit Racing. Johnny Antonucci puts the time up with a 40.584. Rob Jenkins is on the board. Marcus Hagman on the board as well in the Skittles number 12. Michael Trevarthen is just coming out on track actually. And here's a man to watch. He's been an absolute tear. He's had a good start to his Pasky's career so far, so he's going to be one to watch again here tonight. The man in the 31. And I'm just going to check a couple of results here because it's been that long since I last raced, did broadcast for these guys. It's only been 2 weeks. Okay. And Ludwig still holding on to the pole here. I apologise if it's going to be a bit choppy for the moment. So it was Rob Jenkins that got the last cup win. That was back on July 26th. So I'm wondering if the schedule's been updated at all. I've probably got it wrong here. Circulate around the track. I'm just being a bit nosy, looking at a few stats here. So Trevarthen comes across the line. That's what's that going to do for him right there. He goes up to second place. So here. Oh, I apologise, this is round 8, not round 7. I do apologise. As last time out we were at Talladega. I believe it was Jeff Schmidt that won that last race, so good for him. Shows how much of a memory I've got. I don't really remember anything that goes on in this broadcast. I should really go back and pay attention to what I've been watching in the previous races. Glad to be back, Judy. It's been a while, but still waiting for a few drivers to come out on track right now. We've got Robert Dudley out on track right now. Have a look at him there in the 49 ALS Association Camry. We've got Harrison Chandler out on track as well in the number 29 machine. Take a look at his paint scheme. It's been a rather attractive looking Mustang, that is. Mark Jenkins is out on track as well now. Thank you, Trading Paints, for being so slow. As Robert Dudley puts himself up into P7. Good time for him. Dylan Vose out on track as well. And the number 19. Representing Metalhead Motorsport here. And we have 18 drivers in the field tonight now, so we've had another one jump in at the last second. We're less than 3 minutes left in this qualifying session. We're just currently focused on Dylan Vose right now. Let's go back actually to Mark Jenkins, who I believe is about to put his first time down. So let's take a look as he comes through turns 3 and 4. 1 and 2. My God, I am rusty tonight. Down the backstretch he goes in towards turn 3. The man in the 33, as Dylan Vose puts himself into P14. So nothing to shout from the rooftops about for Dylan Vose as Mark Jenkins crosses the line. He puts in a 40.623, good enough for P15 on the grid right now. But he's on his second lap. Let's see what this one does to him. It's usually the second lap that's faster around here. And this new draft package does help them for these 2 laps to get around the track a lot faster than they should be, like it is on like they would on a plate track. As Mark Jenkins running very wide there, coming out of 4, comes down towards the apron, towards the line. Where's that going to put him? As Dylan Vose jumps up to P5, Mark Jenkins goes up to. He stays in P15 actually. So bad qualifying there for Mark Jenkins. Better one though for that man there, Mr. Dylan Vose. He gets a top 5 start and starts right up there with his teammate Michael Trevarthen. So your top 15, that's your top 10 right there on the right hand side of your screen. Ernie Ludwig, Michael Trevarthen, Stephen Parks, Jeff Hollingsworth, Dylan Vose, Johnny Antonucci, Mark Vega, Robert Dudley, Rob Jenkins and Marcus Hagman rounding out your top 10. And you've got Kevin Paskwich, Byron Rodney, Harrison Chandler, Charlie Woods and Mark Jenkins rounding out your top 15. Hoot Baker, Michael Atkins Jr. and Kyle Zimmer. I don't think they have enough time now to put a time down for this qualifying session, so unfortunate for them. And Kyle Zimmer making his debut here tonight. He's transferring over from the... well, he's making his first appearance. He's making a visit to us from the Simpossible League. That is a league that is organised for drivers with disabilities. So that is broadcast every week, every Monday night. So make sure you check those guys out. A very, very good league for those that like to see things like that. The people with the disabilities really showing that they can do it just as good as the well-able people, and they really can. They can really throw out some surprises, and they do on a weekly basis. Anyway, that is it for qualifying. We are going to go into the grid sequence as they're all lined up on the track. Let's go to our grid thing here, I think. Hopefully. So, starting up on the pole will be Ernie Ludwig. A great pole position for the man in the 26. He'll be joined on that front row by Michael Trevarthen. Row 2 will be Stephen Parks and Jeff Hollingsworth. Row 3 will be Dylan Vose and Johnny Antonucci. Row 4 will be Mark Vega and Robert Dudley. And row 5 will be Rob Jenkins and Marcus Hagman. You've got to forgive me, I am getting over the flu here right now, so if I'm a bit raspy, then I apologise. Row 6, it will be Kevin Paskwich and Byron Rodney. Row 7 will be Harrison Chandler and Charlie Woods. Row 8 will be Mark Jenkins and Kyle Zimmer. And starting shotgun on the field here tonight will be Michael Atkins Jr. and Hoot Baker, who's driving that Virginia Tech number 82. So your field lined up, ready to go here. We will start rolling in just a second. 150 laps to scheduled distance here at Auto Club. I like this camera view. As they all start rolling. And we are going to go straight to our pole sitter, Ernie Ludwig. There's a man that's been really stepping up his game lately, has been really putting on some fine performances in Top Fuel, actually, recently. So, good to see there. As they made their way down the backstretch into turn 3, Ernie Ludwig, your pole sitter, Michael Travaten on the outside. Stephen Parks and Jeff Hollingsworth occupy row 2, while Dylan Vose and the 59 of Johnny Antonucci occupy row 3. As they made their way out of turn 4. As the pace car is off, the field in control of Ernie Ludwig, and 150 laps are underway here. We are green here at Auto Club. A great start there on that outside line and bringing Jeff Hollingsworth with him. And already taking away the lead from the 26, sorry, as Hollingsworth occupying that outside line as Johnny Antonucci scraping the wall out of 2. Not the way his race wanted to start here tonight. And Ludwig going to look to the inside of Travaten there as they go through 3 and 4. Gets a big run on that bottom line and takes the lead back. And he's going to get the first lap led here tonight as Stephen Park's going to follow him through as well into second place. It looks like the Jimmy John's paint scheme of Dylan Vose is going to move up to 3rd place as well. He's going to bring Mark Vega with him as well on that bottom line. Lots of fun racing action, as you'd expect with this draft package. And Ernie Ludwig got a clear lead right now. As Stephen Parks up to 2nd place now. He was the championship leader going into Talladega, but unfortunately had a horrendous race which put him out of the championship running. I think he missed the Pocono race as well, so unfortunate for him now, but he's here now. And he's running to the outside of Dylan Vose now. Can he make that outside line work to his advantage? As they come flying out of 2 on lap 3. Still side by side and everybody's still bunched together right now. Harris and Chandler are making a drastic lane change back there. Let's take a look at the back of the... That wasn't Harris and Chandler, that might have been Carl Zimmer, and I believe it was. Running there in the 25. Zimmer running the 25 Home Depot machine. That's the 48 on the outside of Michael Atkins Jr. in scheme as Stephen Parks now has the clear at the front. Ernie Ludwig starting to fall back ever so slightly, and Michael Travaten up to 2nd. It looks like on that outside, Jeff Hollingsworth trying to make a run for it on that outside, but Ernie Ludwig not going to let by side going through 3 and 4. Down the start finish straight they go through the tri-oval. And some very close action racing right now. I see Michael Travaten making a very unorthodox diamond turn there as they go through turns 1 and 2. Stephen Parks still your leader right now. Mark Vega going to jump up to the high side, up into P5 now. Getting that position away from Dylan Vose now, who's dropped back a bit. Mark moved up to P7 from P15, where he started here tonight. It's a good run for him so far. We're down to 17 drivers. Harrison Chandler decided not to take the green here tonight, as they're going to be almost three wide for the lead here, as they finally catch up to Stephen Parks once again. Jeff Hollingsworth right on the back of Marco Travath and Mark Vega right there too in that top 5. And it looks like the tyres starting to wear off already. People getting a bit slidey going through the corner. There's Rob Jenkins, winner from Pocono. He's up there in the P11 spot. Back in the clutches of Johnny Antonucci and Charlie Woods, and Byron Rodney right there as well. Marcus Hack is still watching this battle at the front here. Travathan still occupying that outside line, making it work to his advantage this time round as they come flying out of turn 2. Michael Travathan, your new leader here. Stephen Parks dropping back to second. Look at Ernie Ludwig making a run down that bottom line as well. Probably not going to help him in the long run, as the bottom line will hurt you. He's going to drift up the track and almost into the side of Jeff Hollingsworth. Travathan jumping down to the apron now in the tri-oval. And everybody's still very much bunched together. We go back to Kevin Paskwich now, who's currently occupying P8, working the outside of Mark Vega as they come out of turn 2. Former teammates are Vega and Paskwich, so they definitely know how to race against each other. As a 3 wide for second place now, actually. And everybody's getting super bunched up now. This could end in tears for somebody. And it's going to end in tears for Travathan, who gets to the outside wall. And around goes Mark Jenkins. Can Jenkins save it? Not falling, damn it. And he does save it. Great save by the 33 driver. And I said it was going to end in tears for somebody. Unfortunately, Mark Jenkins was the man that took the fall right there. But look how bunched up it is at the front as well, as Stephen Parks finds himself back out in the lead. Michael Travathan finds himself outside of the top 10 after getting pinched up against the wall. It's unfortunate of him, but look at the run that people are getting now. There goes Dylan Vose up to second place now. The third place. And a bit side-by-side action there between Mark Vega and Michael Atkins Jr. Vega unable to hold a line just ever so slightly. Not Vega, Atkins Jr., sorry. Rob Jenkins now going to work to the inside of the 18. That's Michael Atkins Jr. now going to try and put a move on Kevin Paskwich. And Atkins Jr. has been on the move. He didn't put a time in. He started near the back of the field. He's already up to P4 now. I believe Michael Atkins Jr. is running the Pepsi Fire paint scheme. Let's take a look at the... Yeah, he is. As he's occupying P4, everybody's starting to get spread out now. Those tyres starting to really wear off, as here comes Paskwich now to the inside of Vose. As Vose himself was putting a pass on for the lead, Paskwich was thinking the same thing. They are going to be 3 wide as they come out of turn 4. Vose going to pinch down ever so slightly, but there's still... Paskwich going to back off Atkins Jr. gets the job done, and Atkins Jr. himself has to take a bit of avoided action to try not to run over the back of the 27. Down the backstretch they come. You see Robert Dudley is falling away from the pack there, and Mark Jenkins starting to recatch the pack after his trip through the grass earlier, as Paskwich going to slide up the track. That's going to leave the door open for Michael Ackers Jr. to take the inside line, and he duly does. And moves up to third place now. Can he get the job done on Stephen Parks at the same time? Ackers Jr. really being impressive so far. And here's another man that's impressed me. The man that won at Pocono, Rob Jenkins, starting to make his way up for the field as well, as he's going to work on the draft of Stephen Parks as they come out of turn 2. And Dylan Vose now moves up to the lead from pretty much nowhere. And he has Michael Ackers Jr. up there with him already. Michael Ackers Jr. we know has had some pretty bad luck this season. Would love to get a win on the board to kind of get that chip off his shoulder. As he does take the lead away, Kevin Pasky is going to move up to the inside of Vose as well and move himself up to second place. Or can he? He's got the speed there. He just needs to execute the move properly. Going to dive it down. Junior blocking his path right there. That might happen slightly as here comes Vose to the outside again. Rob Jenkins going to try the inside line. Not going to make it work right now. Martin Vega still occupying that top 5 spot just ahead of Byron Rodney, who's moved his way up to P6 now. Ahead of Kyle Zimmer. And it's all getting really shuffled out here as part of the track to fend off Dylan Vose. Here comes Mark Vega now, seeing all this battle going on. He's going to try and dive to the inside. Some exciting racing we're seeing already here this evening. And we're only on lap 15 of 150. Oh, we've got a big crash here. That's Dylan Vose. Looks like he got into the wall there. Ernie Ludwig looks like he's involved in it too. Caution number 1. Gonna fly right now. And it all started with Dylan Vose. And it looks like Stephen Parks might have got a piece of it as well. Who Baker got a piece of it. Gets into the wall, gets into the side of Byron Rodney, and around everyone goes. Stephen Parks just spins to avoid the wreck going on Byron Rodney as well. Unfortunately, a lot of people getting involved in that. Take a look at it from Byron Rodney's point of view. Look at the damage on that 75. Ernie Ludwig, unfortunate to get involved in that one, as he actually kept it up in P8 by the looks of things, so good for him. And it looks like everybody's going to bring it down. We've got one staying out, that's Charlie Woods right there. But let's go to the pit lane camera and see who's going to come out first in this one. And Ludwig into his box. He's going to have some damage to repair though while he's in there. Michael Ackers Jr. expect him to be the first man out of pit road. Got one leaving already. That is Michael Ackers Jr. But look at Rob Jenkins there to the... Michael Ackers Jr. Kevin Paskwich going to be third off pit road. And Kevin Paskwich, the fastest man with the fastest pit stop. Actually, give that to Johnny Antonucci there, with a 14.6 in the box. Great pit stop there for the man in the 59. One of the most likable people you'll ever meet, Mr. Johnny Antonucci. But crucially, Rob Jenkins winning the race off pit road in the first pit stop of the night. Michael Ackers Jr. having to settle for second off pit road, and Mark Vega coming up behind Kevin Paskwich. That might give Mark Vega a bit of confidence here, because he's been steadily making his way up towards the front all night. He's got the pole set behind him, that's Ernie Ludwig. Maybe he can make a challenge to the front as Michael Ackers Jr. going to come back down pit road. Very odd. And that's going to put him back to the back of the field. So interesting there for Michael Ackers Jr. I wonder if he might have missed his pit stall when he was in pit road. That might be why he went back in, but who knows. Lights are off on the pace car regardless though, as it's going to be Rob Jenkins bringing us back to the green here. He's up to, no, it's actually Charlie Woods bringing us back to green. He actually decided to stay out. 18 laps on those tyres. Not sure if that's the wise strategy here around Auto Club, because we know Auto Club likes to eat tyres. It loves that, it just loves to burn off that rubber. But let's take a look at the weather for tonight before we go back to green. Air temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Track temperature 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So very cool out there actually tonight. Partly cloudy, but you can't see that because it's dark outside. Let's take a look at the summary before we go anywhere. We've already had 6 lead changes. And we've got 133 laps remaining, so all to play for. Still a long way to go here as Charlie Woods will bring us back to green here. The pace car will be going pit side very soon. On the field now in the control of Charlie Woods. And not wasting any time, we are back to green here. As they make their dash towards turn 1. And look at what I said. Remember what I said about Mark Vega making that run straight away up to second place as Charlie Woods falling to the back of the field. And now it looks like Rob Jenkins might be in a bit of trouble here, as here comes Kevin Paskwich now. Try that inside line on the 89. And look at the push that Mark Vega's giving Rob Jenkins right now. You don't see that often on the tracks that aren't super speedways, but this current draft package really does promote these sort of things, as Kevin Paskwich is going to get the lap led here. So that'll be a bonus point for the man on the 27. The man that was involved in the first caution here tonight, Mr. Ernie Ludwig, already back up to P4. He is a man that has been impressing everybody on the iRacing platform lately. So not just here, but in Top Fuel as well, where he also races. Definitely been on impressive form lately. So at the front of the field, Kevin Paskwich still side by side with Rob Jenkins. I believe it's going to be Rob Jenkins getting the lap led this time around. And it is, so he gets the bonus point this time. And look at Mark Vega still stalking these guys. And if Tony was here, I'd be playing the Jaws theme right now. There you go. So side by side between Paskwich and Vega. Side by side between Ludwig and Hagman now is making his way forward. Actually, it's Hollingsworth just in front of Hagman. Actually, no, Hagman has actually made his way forward. Has actually got in front of Hollingsworth. He is side by side with Ludwig. So I do apologise. The Marcus Hagman from the outhouse to the penthouse making his way forward now. Jeff Hollingsworth there in P6. Robert Dudley in 7th now. He was trailing at the back of the field just like Hoot Baker is right now. But he's managed to get himself back up into the mix. Byron Rodney has burned his fast repair. He's back up there in the top 10. Ahead of Dylan Vose and Kyle Zimmer. Still stalking that top 10 spot. So good position for him to be in. And he's got Johnny Antonucci to his outside. This lead battle still going on as Mark Vega still trying to work the outside of Kevin Paskwich right now as they come out of 2. And Vega going to get the run here on the backstretch right now. And is Vega going to get this lap led as they come towards the line? It might be. It's very close between the two, but Vega does get the lap led. He'll get the bonus point this time around. Another lead change here. As it looks like Jeff Hollingsworth starting to make himself known. Very drastic dive to the outside there. As Rob Jenkins. Very aggressive move there by Rob Jenkins, but he's doing everything he can to hold on to that lead. It is a legal move as long as he's not involved in a wreck. Still holding on to that lead. Let's go a bit back further. Go back to Michael Ackers Jr. He's finding his way back into the top 10 now. Now working to the inside of Kyle Zimmer as there goes Robert Dudley to try and fend him off. And Ashley Dudley going to try and move to the inside of Byron Rodney now and work on the back of Ernie Ludwig. A bit further behind them, we've got Michael Javarthan currently running in P13. He's got Mark Jenkins all over the back of his machine, and Stephen Parks right there, just chilling back down P15. Hoot Baker in P16, and Charlie Woods is one lap down now after restarting in the lead. Jeff Hollingsworth, meanwhile, moving himself back to the front, well, to the front for the first time here tonight. Could he get the lap led and get that bonus point as well? Only time will tell. We're getting ever closer to that. The playoffs now. So every point is worth its weight in gold here right now, especially tonight. And Jeff Hollingsworth did get his first lap led. That will be his bonus point in the bag. Great race in between these guys as Rob Jenkins doing everything he can to try and get up to the back of Hollingsworth again. Mark Vega just holding on to that bottom line. Moves himself back up to third place. Only Ludwig starting to make his way back forward as well as he gets around Marcus Hagman. And Hagman himself, no stranger to victory lane, the sensational Swede. Up there in the top 10 again. He was hanging back a bit in the early part of this race, but managed to get himself forward again, possibly through the pit stop. So good position for him to be in right now as he's still battling it out with Ernie Ludwig. Just behind him we've got some close side-by-side racing between Michael Ackers Jr. and Carl Zimmer. Carl Zimmer still holding on just with Byron Rodney to his outside. Byron Rodney falling back to P10 again now. Starting to get spread out right now. Oh, it looks like Marcus Hagman tried to almost got into the wall there. Had to take some drastic avoiding action to get away from it. So good way to prevent yourself from being in an accident there, Mr. Hagman. As he didn't even get any damage from that, so good call there for Hagman. So they're coming up to the back of Charlie Woods now. Rob Jenkins has retaken the lead here. You see right there with Jeff Hollingsworth right behind him. Charlie Woods is in trouble of losing the second lap though. You see the man in the 61. He did lead the one lap. He's got that all-important bonus point by staying out for the pit stops, but it's all gone down for him ever since. He's fallen back to a lap down. About to fall to 2 laps down now. So here comes Jenkins and Hollingsworth. Old lead he had Jeff Hollingsworth literally drafting with him for the short while, and Mark Vega and Kevin Pasky have actually closed the gap to these two now as well. Mark Vega there, Kevin Pasky right behind him. Only Ludwig is trying to fend off Robert Dudley, and Dudley trying to make his way up to the top 5 now. Dudley, but very close professional racing here tonight. Really enjoying the action out here on track, and we're only 33 laps in now. Everybody's starting to get spread out now, and look at Kevin Pasky working to the outside of Mark Vega. And looking at the action from above. There's Kevin Pasky. Michael Atkins Jr. and Ernie Ludwig right there. Ludwig lost out to Robert Dudley. And Ludwig just going to hold on to... And we're going to ride on board with somebody for a couple of laps here, as we're going to get a good measure of how the track works around here with the tyres starting to wear off. Let's go on board with Kevin Pasky as he shows us how to get it done on a lap or two around the Auto Club Speedway. And a bad example. Sorry, KP. Keeps it down there, though. No harm, no foul. We can carry on going. The Pasky dropping back to P15. That's going to give Mark Vega a lot of air now. A lot of clean air. Well, a lot of pressure taken off him anyway. Pasky is back up to speed again, albeit 2 seconds off Hoot Baker now, who's the man right in front of him. But there is Mark Vega, still right there. Robert Dudley up to P4 now after Ludwig there. Michael Atkins Jr. still holding behind. Marcus Hagman has fallen back to P7 now. Carl Zimmer in P8. 9th is Dylan Vose, and Byron Rodney still holding on to P10. And Mark Jenkins right behind him. And Jenkins actually has finally got around Michael Trevarthen. And now going to try and work on the back of Byron Rodney here as they come down the backstretch. Further forward, Carl Zimmer now starting to work his way forward. He's working to the outside of Ernie Ludwig. And everybody getting very spread out now. Zimmer very close to the wall, but he managed to get that job done on Ernie Ludwig. And Ludwig actually starting to fall back now I wonder if he's got an issue of some sort, because now he's got Vose overtaking him. He's going to have Byron Rodney overtaking him on that outside as well. As well as Mark Jenkins. So Ludwig's starting to fall backwards here. There's Marcus Hagman right there. Not really any absolutely concrete battle to speak of. Kevin Pasky, meanwhile, has got up to the back of Hoot Baker on his recovery drive. Would absolutely love a caution right now, would Mr. Paskwich. Back in the front, Rob Jenkins still leading this piece now, as Jeff Hollinsworth just riding behind him. Running lockstep right now. And look at Robert Dudley starting to make some gains now as well, though. Vega for Robert Dudley, as Michael Atkins Jr. is your last driver in the top 5. Further back, Byron Rodney under attack there by Mark Jenkins. Jenkins going to dive to the inside of the 75. Not going to get the job done. And the battle is still going on at the front. Rob Jenkins now under bit. They make their run down towards the turn 3 and 4 complexes. Look at the run that Hollinsworth got, actually. Big slingshot there into turn 3. Did get the lead away from Rob Jenkins. And Jeff Hollinsworth going to lead them down to the line now. And this is going to be a long one here tonight, whether they stay green or not. The Hollinsworth leader, John Kins there, Mark Vega. I'm going to wonder if the tyres are starting to wear off on these guys, because they're already on 25 laps on the tyres. Will we be seeing green flag pit stop soon? Who knows? We'll soon find out, as we do have a green flag pit stop underway right now. That's Rob Jenkins, the leader, is in pit road. No, and spun it into pit road. Big mistake by the 89. Let's find out what happened here. I know he hit the wall coming out of... Hit the wall, had to go down pit road to avoid it, spun it around. And the only advantage he can take here is maybe... use this as an advantage to get an early pit stop in and get back out there. Maybe get an advantage on the others, but it did take him a while to get corrected again. And that leaves Jeff Hollinsworth out to a clear lead now, ahead of Mark Vega. Also promotes Robert Dudley up to 3rd and Michael Atkins Jr. is at 4th. As Atkins Jr. now going to put a move on Robert Dudley for that 3rd spot. He's going to dive to the inside there through 3 and 4. 1 and 2. Yeah, 3 and 4. Yeah, no, I was right. Still side by side as they go through 1 and 2. Dudley not going to give it up, but he does now. Atkins finally getting the clear. Question is now, can Dudley get the position back? He's got the run on him going in towards turn 3. Going to dive it to the inside now. and not going to get the job done. Kyle Zimmer now is right behind them. He's in the top 5. Good run he's having on his debut here tonight. As we finally do have our first scheduled pit stop of the night, and that would be, well, this road. There you go. Jeff Hollingsworth, meanwhile, he's going to carry on his merry way in the lead there. Mark Vega in second, Michael Atkins Jr. in third. Robert Dudley back up to 4th now. Oh, he was already in 4th, but he's under pressure from Carl. Dylan Vose right there. That's Mark Jenkins up to P7 now. Byron Rodney 8th, 9th is Marcus Wagman. And 10th now is Michael Javarson, starting to slowly make his way back up the field. That's Mark Vega going to bring it down now. So he's one of the first of the leaders to bring it down. Let's see how his pit stop turns out. There goes Antonucci, Woods, Ludwig and Parks in the background. There's Mark Vega in pit road right now. And he is down and away. His pit stop. That is the important part of this exercise right now. He is going to come out ahead of Vernon Ludwig and Rob Jenkins respectively as well. You see there is Ludwig and Rob Jenkins nowhere to be seen actually. He's actually only making his way through the trioval, so pretty far back as Hollingsworth still leads this thing. Michael Atkins Jr. into second now after Vega did take it down pit road. I don't like we've got any other takers down pit road as yet. Johnny Antonucci just coming through there. We've got Charlie Woods on his rear spoiler. Stephen Parks right there as well. Kevin Paskowitz just running by himself. He's recovering from that spin we saw him have while we were on the onboard shot with him earlier. And behind them, Robert Dudley and Kyle Zimmer still battling out for that 3rd spot. It was for 4th, but obviously Vega's been in. Still no other takers down pit road. I wonder if Vega's working a bit of fuel strategy. It wouldn't surprise me. He's not been a stranger to it in the past, as we've got 100 laps to go here now. So with 100 laps to go, we are going to step away for a quick commercial break. We'll be coming right back if anything drastic happens. But for now, let's hear a word from the people that, well, don't really pay the bills, but just advertise their stuff on our racing. But here we go.
It's Top Fuel Racing, live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them four abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
And welcome back here to Auto Club. We're just seeing pit stops taking place right now as Jeff Hollingsworth, who you saw during the replay, during the commercial break, he took his pit stop and he's out ahead of everybody. Mark Jenkins now, I believe, the last driver to make his way down pit road. Mark Vega currently is about to take over the lead. He's currently in a battle, a pretty big battle now with Ernie Ludwig. And they're both going to move up to first and second respectively. (13 and 15 laps on their tyres respectively, both of them making very early pit stops. And looks like Mark Vega getting the legs over everybody else right there. They are a clear 6 seconds ahead of Jeff Hollingsworth, who's a good 4 seconds ahead of Michael Atkins Jr., who's got Robert Dudley still with him, and Byron Rodney right there as well with him too. Michael Trevathan up to P7, Dylan Vose in and round out the top 10, who's right behind Agman actually, is Carl Zimmer. Mark and Rob Jenkins respectively together on track right now. Mark just getting out ahead of his brother. Rob Jenkins right there in the 89. Remember Rob Jenkins, the reason why he's so far back is because he had that big moment going into pit road on the exit of turn 4, hit the wall and had no choice but to make an early pit stop, so he's back there for a reason. Meanwhile, back in the front, Mark Vega's checked out now. He's got a pretty decent lead over Ernie Ludwig, who's fallen back to pretty much a second now behind Vega. And they're still 5 seconds ahead of Jeff Hollingsworth, who's still circulating very nicely. There's Michael Atkins Jr. now embroiled in a battle with Robert Dudley, Byron Rodney, Dylan Vose and Michael Trevathan right there as well. So a 5-car battle for the top 4, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th right now. And Kyle Zimmer not far behind with Marcus Agman either, so we've got a nice big battle brewing right here. And Byron Rodney has already dispatched, he's trying to dispatch Robert Dudley. Oh! And around goes Michael Atkins Jr. And we didn't expect we were expecting some clean racing. Let's take another look and see what happened here. And Robert Dudley just drifted up the track into the side of Michael Atkins Jr. That's going to bring out caution number 2 here. Take a look at it from a far chase cam, because I know people love that sort of thing. Let's go back a bit further. You see him there, Robert Dudley trying to make the move on Michael Atkins Jr. Dives to the inside, but wasn't expecting. Oh, actually. I want to see that again. Oh, I think Michael Atkins Jr. might have come down on Robert Dudley, actually. Let's take a look at this again. And look at the grooves in the track. Those are the lanes of the track. You see, Michael Atkins Jr. moved up to the very high line. Robert Dudley stayed in his lane. Michael Atkins Jr. came back down and got into the side of Robert Dudley, took Byron Rodney with him. And unfortunately, that here at Auto Club. We have got pit stops underway right now. Mark Vega wanted that caution to come out and he got it absolutely spot on. And we're going to see pit stops happening right now. Wholesale pit stops. We've only got Byron Rodney's had to take it back to pit road. He's towed it. Charlie Woods is going to, I believe, get the lucky dog. Which amazingly will put him back on the lead lap. So here comes Mark Vega. Is he going to win the race off pit road? It looks like he will do, and very easily as well. Ernie Ludwig. Oh, actually no. Dylan Vose is going to be second off pit road. Oh no, Ernie Ludwig is. I apologise. But Trevathan off in third. Marcus Hagman actually only took 2 tyres, so he won the race off pit road by quite easily. It has to be said. But reprise for drivers such as Kevin Jenkins again. if you're just joining us, was leading for a good part of the race, got overtaken by Jeff Hollingsworth, and unfortunately hit the wall coming out of turn 4, spun into pit road and took a very early pit stop because of that. Was praying for a caution to come out. Kevin Pasky, we did an on-board section with him. While we were on board with him, he had a bit of a spin coming out of turn 2 and into the infield. Fortunately, he got it back going again with no damage. He is back up in the top 10 and was looking for that caution to come out, and he finally got it. Well, it looks like Pasky might have an EOL here because he's fallen back a bit. No, he hasn't. So Marcus Hagman going to be a leader when we go back to green. We're just going to step away for another quick commercial break. We'll be right back. Actually, no, we're not going to be going for a commercial break. We are going to speak to... I'm going to speak to a driver right now. We are going to reach out to the driver of Rob Jenkins right now. There he is on the in-car right there. So let's reach out to the man in the 89 if I can find him. Where is he? There he is. So we're going to reach out. We're going to reach out to the... Sorry, Rob Jenkins. Sam up in the booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you.
Leading for the early part of the race, had a bit pit stop. I bet you were praying for that caution to come out right now.
The racing god shined upon me, buddy.
Absolutely, and you find yourself back in the top 10 in P7. What do you reckon? I'm guessing.
No. Yeah, it kind of broke up a little bit there, but I'm going to just try to ride and keep it out of the wall. Not try to do what I did there a little while ago. Don't want to end it that way.
Absolutely. So, looking forward to having a good run this time round. Rob, before I let you go, anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Yeah, old Judy Jenkins, my dear mother. I'm sure she's watching. We're going to try to make her proud here, Mom. Love you.
Okay, Rob. Well, lights are off on the pace car, sitting in P7. We'll hopefully speak to you after.
Thanks, Sam.
So that was Rob Jenkins in the booth with me. Sorry about the volume quality there. I had to turn him up slightly. Sounded like he was on the phone there, but anyway. That is the way that is. But we are going to go back to green here in just a second. Lights are off on the pace car. Marcus Hagman opted for the outside line there on the track right now. He is going to try and see how that... Now, Mark Vega up going for the bottom line here. Might have a bit of an advantage here going forward. But it's worth noting that Marcus Hagman, his tyres weren't that old when the caution came out, so the one side of the tyres that he did keep on are still relatively fresh as the pace car is in. We're about to go green again. Marcus Hagman hits the loud pedal, and we're back on the green again. A big wheel spin there for Mark Vega, and that's going to lose him a couple of spots here on the restart, as there goes Trevathan, and to the outside goes Ernie Ludwig. So Trevathan up to second now. He's going to put... Oh, we've got contact between Zimmer and Ernie Ludwig. Ludwig into the wall. That's going to bring out caution number 3, I think. Yes, it is. Big contact between Ludwig and Kyle Zimmer. Happened between the two. So Ludwig was working to the outside. And oh, we're gonna go to the far chase cam again for that one. just to get a good measure of what happened. He was trying to work to the outside, and it looked like Zimmer came up to the inside of Ludwig, got into the side of him, pitched him into a spin, and he went round into the wall. Carl Zimmer getting just as much damage there as well. Let's take a look at it from Zimmer's point of view. And Zimmer just washing up the track there into the side of the 26, and he hit the wall in a big way, big roll. Wow. And you know what we're going to do now? Now that I've seen that. Oh yeah. The contact with Ludwig, and boom! Wow, that is a scary, scary accident there for Zimmer. We're going to go back and take another look at that from... So there's the contact, and Zimmer just speared into the wall. Wow. It looks like Mark Atkins Jr. might have got a piece of that, you know. A few takers down pit road, but Marcus Hagman still leads this thing. Baker in second, Hollinsworth in third, and Mark Jenkins up to fourth, Robert Dudley in fifth. Kyle Zimmer, he's going to have to fall to the back of the field because he did go into pit road while it was still closed, so he will fall. Jonathan in seventh, Rob Jenkins in eighth now, Paskwich in ninth, and Vose in 10th. Ernie Ludwig has had to tow that thing. He is in P16. And unfortunate for Ernie Ludwig, he's starting on the pole here tonight. Run. Was not expecting that his night to end so early, and we're only on lap 71. 80 laps still to go in this thing. We've got Charlie Woods and Carl Zimmer coming down on pit road. Byron Rodney, the only person, well actually only Ludwig just went a lap down now, so he's still towing that thing. Kudos to Marcus Hagman though, on those two tyres, still able to keep it out in front. He's the man in the lead right now. Mark Vega still holding on to second despite that bad restart. We'll be hoping not to have the same, suffer the same fate again on this next one. And the guys that were involved in the previous caution to this one, Robert Dudley is back there in P5, and Michael Atkins Jr. in P10. The only person that's retired from this race is Byron Rodney. Stephen Parks back there. We've not heard much from him in the last few laps. He's there in P13. Fell back a bit after the first caution. We'll be hoping to make a run forward in the future. Johnny Antonucci is there as Michael Javarthan is going to bring it down pit road with Rob Jenkins and Dylan Vose. So interesting strategies for those three. Getting the top up of fuel before we go back to green again, and the lights are off, so we will be going back to green this time around. And Marcus Hagman looks like he's opting for the inside line this time by. And he's picking and choosing. He knows who's the biggest threat behind him. And the biggest threat right now is Jeff Hollinsworth, and good spot in there for Marcus Hagman to notice that Hollingsworth is there. And we should be having Byron Rodney up in the booth with us very soon. He did tell me that he needs to calm down a bit before he comes up, and rightly so. But we are going to be going back to green in just a second here. Marcus Hagman, your man on the front of the the man in control of the field. Mark Vega to his outside. We've got Jeff Hollingsworth on the second row alongside Mark Jenkins. Robert Dudley and Kevin Paskwich in the third row, but the pace car makes that hard left turn into pit road, and away we go. Green flag is out again. And a better restart here by Mark Vega, but is it going to be enough to keep Jeff Hollingsworth behind him? We will not know until we get past turn one. It's going to be a negative on that one, as Jeff Hollingsworth also going to make a move on Marcus Hagman as they come out of turn two. And Jeff Hollingsworth is going to move back to the point here, but he's going to bring Mark Jenkins with him. Mark Jenkins is going to try and find a hole to the inside there of Jeff Hollingsworth. And he's going to be the next brand new leader here, as Kevin Paskwich started to make a big run to the front. And Mark Jenkins will get that lap led. Oh no, it was Jeff Hollingsworth, I apologise. Oh, contact between Vega, Michael Atkins Jr. and Rob Jenkins. We're going to have the caution come out again. And it was contact between Atkins Jr. and Mark Vega. Oh, it looked like it started with Kevin Paskwich. A bit of a nerf there from the 27. Let's take another look from the far chase cam once again, because we love this camera. Mark Jenkins down to the bottom line there. Oh, yeah, Paskwich just twitched up a line just there ever so slightly. Ever so slightly, and that put Michael Atkins Jr. into a bit of contact with Mark Vega and Marcus Hagman. Both, looks like they all managed to live to fight another day, but a man that's joining me in the booth now that didn't live to fight another day, Byron Rodney. A sad end to your night here tonight.
Yeah, it was a fun race. The car was handling really good. It got a little tight in the corners once you got on worn tires, but it would handle like a dream around this track if you hit your marks right. I was able to actually push it and make moves, and it was my fault in that first accident. But the second go around, I was just an innocent victim and caught a car to the face when the 49 of Robert Dudley and the 48 of Michael Atkins got together.
It looks like your teammate is in the wars as well, Kevin Paskwich. Unfortunately, the architect of that last caution. It does get a bit twitchy out there after a while, doesn't it?
Well, if you get that car in the corners, coming into turn 1 and 2, get it down on the apron, get it below that white line, you're going to catch a little loose condition. If you take that corner too wide on your turn in, on your corner entry, it's going to plow straight out to that outside wall, and you got to get up out of the throttle, and whoever's behind you had best look out. Especially when these tires get a little wear on them, it's getting a little tighter as the night goes on. But if you hit your marks, man, you can carry some momentum. And it looks like to me the low line was the place to be because you could pass cars. I was planning some what another fellow driver of ours in this league and other leagues, Nate Siefer, calls money moves, because they were working.
Yeah, and Paskwich did get a bit of damage from that contact he had with Atkins Jr. because he fell to the back of the field. Now he is down in P12 relative to the P3 he was in when the caution came out. Mark Jenkins opted to stay out, as did Robert Dudley. And I believe Kyle Zimmer stayed out as well, so he's up into the 3rd spot. Jeff Hollingsworth won the race off pit road. Stephen Parks finally back up into the top 5. We've been sitting in the back for the longest time. Trevarthen, Hagman back there. Johnny Antonucci, Charlie Woods, and Rob Jenkins rounds out your top 10. 4 cautions here, but apart from probably the second caution, some pretty that are bringing out the cautions tonight. Tiny little mistakes.
It's long green flag runs. This track has got so many lanes around it when the car handles. When you got fresh Dr. Feelgoods on all 4 corners of the car, let me tell you, man, these things you can pilot it anywhere you want to be. And guys are guarding that low line because that's where the passes were going. But once you get a little bit of wear, you got to hit your marks, and aerodynamics are also definitely playing a part in this thing. So the car's with a little bit of tail damage. Like I'm looking at the 33 of Mark Jenkins right now. He's got that tail fin sitting up in the air just a little bit, and it just might cause him a little bit of problem. Yeah,
and that's resulting from the bumping and banging that's been going out on track tonight.
Yeah,
was involved.
A lot of aggression out there, definitely, Sam.
Yeah.
I was victim of it. I was in a perfect spot. I was just picking where I wanted to be with those 2 racing, and it was just a little bit of aggression, a little too early. But you know what? That's racing, man.
One man that's really impressed me so far here tonight is the man currently sitting in P12. That is the man driving the number 18 M&M's car, Martin Vega. Has been absolutely on fire tonight. The only reason why he's back there is because of that contact he had with Michael Atkins Jr. and Marcus Hagman. Mark Vega really impressing me tonight.
Yeah, Mark Vega. Now, there's a name we haven't seen here in Pasky. And oh my God, how long? He's made a return back. He's got a fresh set of equipment at his house. A good internet connection. It's good to see him back on the track.
Yeah. And he's going to be restarting just ahead of Michael Atkins Jr. and Kyle Zimmer. Zimmer falling back after making another pit stop there. Hoop Baker still on the lead lap. Ernie Ludwig now, the pole sitter, back down to P16. He's 4 laps down after being involved in that incident with Kyle Zimmer that brought out the 3rd caution here tonight. And what a big crash for Zimmer. That was a scary one.
Yeah, sorry I missed it, because I'll be honest with you, after that last caution that I was involved in, I had to step away for a little bit and just go breathe.
Yeah, well, now you're back. You can bring us back to green for this one then, Byron.
All right, we're watching the Ford Mustang pace cars. Lights are off, getting ready to take that hard left turn into pit lane. Mark Jenkins got control of the field, selecting the inside line. He's just waiting for his chance to hit the loud pedal and just fire it off. I appreciate being able to join Sam Cooper Bennett, our founder, up here in the booth. Byron Rodney here with you. Why? Because they couldn't afford anyone better. That's why.
I'm priceless. Nobody can afford better than me.
Bringing your race coverage by Byron Rodney because they couldn't afford to pay anyone any better. Oh, yeah, I heard that somewhere before. Coming around turn 3-4 complex, Ford Mustang's getting ready to take that turn into pit lane. Mark Jenkins got the field and control. Is he going to hold him down for the, or is he going to just hit the loud pedal and roll? As the throttle's mashed, the cars are coming up into anger. Mark Jenkins is gone. He says, "See you, boys. Catch me if you can."
And with them being on the older tyres, it won't be such a problem for Jeff Hollingsworth. He's already dispatched his teammate Robert Dudley into turn 1, and here comes Stephen Parks as well. He's going to make his way forward on the 49, and Michael Trevarthen going to follow him through there as well. We see the shuffle in the background there, being led by Marcus Hagman. Johnny Antonucci up in the mix as well with Charlie Woods, who suddenly, all of a sudden, found some speed in that car after being 2 laps down at one point.
Yeah, you can see Hollingsworth just rolling it right back out there, guides that car right back to the point. Guys are racing 2-3 wide behind him. That's what he wants to see, because now watch Hollingsworth. He's going to hold that bottom. If anyone gets down underneath him in that bottom, they're going to have the advantage while we have fresh tires. Once you get about 10 laps on these things, that's all she wrote. Lets you know exactly where to turn in and turn out.
Well, Stephen Parks is no slouch to being at the front. He's He's already been our points leader so far this season. Obviously, Rob Jenkins. Actually, probably not Rob Jenkins coming into tonight because he had a bad race at Talladega. But Stephen Parks has been at the top of the table already here this season, so he knows what it takes to get to the top. As here comes Michael Trevathan to the inside of Stephen Parks. Now, Michael Trevathan finally decides that now is the time to make a move.
Yep, that 31 machine of Michael Trevathan just sitting down there on the low lane. He's got the preferred lane on the number 3 at Stephen Parks. But Stephen holding that high side momentum. Those tires are still fresh. Let's see what they can do with them.
Now the people that are on the older tyres, that'll be Robert Dudley and Mark Jenkins starting to fall back by the wayside as Robert Dudley. Oh, big move there. Sorry to change the subject. A big move there by Stephen Parks to cross over Jeff Hollingsworth to the inside now. Out of turn 4. Can he get the move done as they come down towards the tri-oval?
Yeah, well, all the goodies starting to get off of those tires. Autoclub Speedway, you can see the seams on the track. You can catch some traction there. iRacing modeled that perfect. But he's got that down inside line. The 42 works that high side momentum around him. How long they're going to be able to stick that bottom line and stick that high side without pushing out to the wall.
Because I've no, that's not what I wanted. I apologise. You carry on. Byron, I'm just going to make an adjustment here.
Alrighty, 42. Jeff Hollingsworth still out on the point. Michael Trevathan, he's moved himself up to P2. Marcus Hagman, the flying Swede, he's up there in the 3rd spot. Stephen Parks rolling down to, Robert Dudley catching 4th position from him. Stephen Parks rolling down, rounding out your top 5. Mark Jenkins fell back to 6th place.
Now Robert Dudley finally found some second life in those tyres, same as Mark Jenkins. And Dudley really putting Trevathan under pressure now as they come down towards turn 3.
Yeah, Dudley thought about making a pretty right there for a second, but thought better of it. As we've got better than 50 laps to go here left in the race.
Just under 70. So quite a few.
we got a lot of racing left to go.
Absolutely. We've still got 16 cars running in this field. Started Harrison Chandler, as we all know, did not take the green for this one. Byron Rodney in the booth with me for this one after making his after unfortunately retiring from the race, but good to have you up in the booth with me.
Oh, yeah. Back out of this because I think there's going to be a late night tradition. There'll be maybe some C-fixed raids going on by myself and my teammate Kevin Paskowitz tonight.
Yeah.
And after what I heard that you were telling me where the skippies are at, there might be a few of those too.
One of those. But I'll take that back. We did have a 3-wide moment there between Trevathan, Hagman and Dudley, but there's a little battle going on between Mark Jenkins and Stephen Parks back here. They've been side by side for the best part of a lap or two, and look who's starting to join the party right now, Mr. KP himself, Kevin Paskowitz, working to the outside of the 33.
Yeah, me and my teammate, we were talking to each other through the race, and he found the car. All he had to do was just ride, and he was actually getting up to the front. You can see Kevin Paskowitz looking to the inside of Stephen Parks. He's going to be in a 3-wide situation. You better watch it. Oh, it gets into the back of the 33, Mark Jenkins, and here we go. Caution flies.
And Paskowitz survives it. Wow.
Oh, I got to take another look at that one.
Unfortunate for Dylan Vose and the likes that were involved in that just there, but I think the biggest survivor out of that one was actually Kevin Paskowitz.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at my replay, and I am not going to say that was all on Mark Jenkins. He came up from the bottom lane, 2 lanes up, to get into the front corner of Kevin Paskowitz, and that just caused the whole chain reaction to start right there. Kevin Paskowitz got squeezed in between Steve Parks and Mark Jenkins, got on the binders, and all hell broke loose, and Kevin just walked away looking just beautiful.
Yeah, and we're going to ride on board with Mark Vega for this one because he had a very interesting moment here, a very much a Code Brown moment. Avoids the contact with Michael Atkins Jr. Actually gets a tiny bit of damage after scraping the wall, but losing the Larson line to get around the whole melee Mark Vega survived that one too.
Yeah, just a slight tap on the left front of his car on the back of the 48 of Michael Atkins. And, yeah, Mark Vega looking pretty, too.
Don't believe he's burned his fast repair yet, so Mark Vega looking in good shape. He's already back up to the top 10 now. Pasky might have a bit of damage to repair, but not too serious when you compare it to the likes of Mark Jenkins and especially Charlie Woods, who got the brunt of that incident. His car now looks like a pavement modified.
Yeah, well, considering that Kevin Pasky still has his fast repair, I do know that much. Wholesale pit stops underway as the whole field comes in for, well, make that not the whole field. Oh,
and the reason why Charlie Woods got involved in it is because he accidentally got nerfed by Antonucci. Antonucci possibly not paying attention there and unfortunately getting into the back of Charlie Woods. Let's take a look at it from Antonucci's point of view. See, Mark Vega was in front of him. You see the melee starting in front of him, and very uncharacteristic from Johnny Antonucci. Unfortunately, getting into the back of Charlie Woods and spinning him into the wall.
Yeah, well, you know what? Incidents happen. This is racing. You know, everyone, we have high passions. Like I said earlier, I had to step away and take a breath or two to calm myself to come join you up in the booth. But, you know, hindsight being 2020, it's racing. I'm over with it. Time to move on to the next one. We don't want to talk about who's been getting nerfed an awful lot in another league as a driver, do we, Sam?
No, we don't. Well, actually, no. At Michigan, I kind of stepped on my own junk, but that's besides the point.
Yeah. It happens. That's all we're going to say.
Well, Robert Dudley going very slow on the infield right there. Not sure what's going on. I believe he might have an EOL, actually.
Yeah, as an admin of this league, I can tell you we changed the ruling a bit when it comes to black flags. We're not clearing them. You know, iRacing, everyone knows iRacing has a bit of an issue with the black flags being passed out, waiver rounds not being given. There are some things. And instead of, we went back and looked at every black flag we cleared last season. We cleared way more that should not have been cleared than we actually should have. So we decided to let iRacing handle it. And if anyone was unhappy about it, hey, there's at iRacing.com email address you can address your grievances to, and they do actually answer.
All of this falling on from the fallout from Mossport Gate, as I like to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all fallen away from the incidents that happened at Mossport, Canadian Tire to some people. But there was only one admin in the room, and decisions had to be made. So it is what it is. I believe there was, yeah.
Yeah, there was only one there, and a snap decision was made. And you know what? Hey, you gotta go with it.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the Talladega incident.
Oh, yes. The one that lit up my Facebook Messenger for a while.
Yeah.
You know,
the one where I lit everybody up on Facebook.
Yeah. If you're wondering what we're talking about, we're not just talking about bringing you iRacing on this platform called ESPN in the broadcast. We're not talking about the competitors out here in the cars, on the field, at their computers, stuff that you can do yourself if you have a mind to. What we're talking about is a league. This isn't an official sanctioned iRacing race. This is a league. People join because they want to be here. They enjoy the competition and the people they race around. But things that can happen, the league administrators, of which I am one in this league, co-owner, it can light up your messenger. There is so much that goes on underneath the surface, in turbulent water, for it to look smooth on the surface in the broadcast.
I'm a league admin too, but I kind of try and stay back.
Well, sometimes we can't stay back, and we appreciate your eyes in the sky. And and due to us being broadcast on ESPN, that does give us another out to be able to go and look we can go back to this race and rewatch the whole race and see if there was something going on that shouldn't have been, and we can make corrections and bring league things down. But it's a lot to deal with, folks. If you want to run a league, hey, get a hold of us. We'll be happy to help you.
Absolutely, but regardless, let's go back to the race at our hand right now. Lights are over the pace car, and look at this front row we've got right now. Probably two of the strongest drivers in the league right now, Michael Trevarthen and Jeff Hollingsworth, really going to be duking it out on this restart. Trevarthen on the inside, Hollingsworth on the outside. It's about to get really, really busy right now.
Yep, Hollingsworth's been on the inside for every restart that I've seen. I'm interested to see how he's going to fare on the outside lane.
As Trevarthen gets us going, and he's going to get the lead going into turn one. Hollingsworth, a very conservative start for himself there.
Yeah, he just he knew he wasn't going to catch him, and he knows if he rides that outside line, he's not going to hold the spot. So look for Hollingsworth drop down into second. He's going to jump up on that bumper, and he's going to ride. Hollingsworth will let you make the mistake for him to make the pass more than he'll make the pass on you.
Yeah, and another man that could be threatening behind them is
there he goes.
Yeah, the sensational Swede is right there too, but Rob Jenkins is right there as well. Remember, he won a Pocono. Look at the battle between Stephen Parks and Kevin Paskowicz. They're actually going to be 3 wide coming off of turn 4 as Stephen Parks. Yeah, Stephen Parks, big move there for the 3.
Big move. Bottom line's going to have the advantage on these fresh tires just getting started. Look for Hollingsworth, Parks, and Paskowicz to lake it out, but Jenkins is just not up on it.
Yeah. As Paskowicz, I think he has taken his fast repair, you know. And look who's...
that last stop.
Yeah, and look who's up there in the mix again. Mark Vega back up to the top 5. Already dispatched the 27. Now working to the inside of Michael Trevarthen. Trevarthen starting to fall back again. Not sure what's going on there for the 31. And Hollingsworth starting to fall back as Rob Jenkins now has the lead and gets another lap led here at Alta Club.
Well, being as how we're working lap 94 of 150, we are on the, we're going to have one more stop, and it's going to come down to strategy if this stays green flag. So up there on the high line, where Hollingsworth is, where Trevarthen is a tire-saving line. They're going to have more of the goodie on their tire late in the run. But look at that move Steve Parks makes, and Michael Atkins Jr. coming up in there right behind Vega, looking for a part of the league, pinching Paskowicz down to the apron.
Yeah, but Stephen Parks getting a bit of error push there, moving up to the side, to the top of the track. That was resulting from one hell of a shove that Mark Vega gave to Parks, and that kind of left his car a bit unsettled. He moved up the track, and now he's falling back behind Mark Jenkins. But look at Mark Vega now, trying to put a move on Jeff Hollingsworth. Is he going to try and dive it in towards turn 3? He's got the speed. He's got the draft right behind the number 42. Is he going to make the move? No, he's not. He's going to stay behind him and try and follow through on the bottom line.
Yeah, mad respect for Mark Vega on the track tonight, all the way up to, but not including his choice of paint job and number.
Yeah. Why he chose the paint scheme of Rowdy is another story, but looking a bit further back in the field, we're still looking at Kevin Paskowicz there trying to fend off Mark Jenkins, Stephen Parks, Kyle Zimmer, and Marcus Hagman. Michael Trevarthen has fallen back to P10. Remember, he started on the front row on this restart, and he's trying to fend off Robert Dudley and Charlie Woods at the same time. We've seen this before from Trevarthen. Likes to fall back and then save up his tyres, and then made that run at the death.
Yeah, he's looking to save all the goodie he can on them Dr. Feelgoods on 4 corners of the car. And I'll bet you if you rode along with him, you'd probably hear him burping that throttle in the corners. He's saving every little bit he can for late in the run, because when these guys, get to late in the run, whoever can get the best lap times out there is going to, lap times, remember, equal track position, real estate. And you hit your marks on your pit stop, you're going to come out looking, smelling good like a rose. But I've said it a million times, watch out. You got the great equalizer, the caution flag.
Yeah, we've already seen that 5 times here tonight. Jeff Hollingsworth back to the point here as they come out of turn 4. Rob Jenkins still following behind closely with Mark Vega right behind him and up to 4th place now. Here's Mark Jenkins. So the Jenkins brothers really putting on a show here tonight. There's a 3 wide behind him. Paskowicz, Zimmer, and Atkins Jr. as Paskowicz almost getting into the side of Stephen Parks. As I say that, coming out of turn 2, almost contact between the 27 and the 3.
Yeah, we're working. We're coming up on 10 laps with these tires. And this is the time that guys have been making the money moves early. This is where their tires are going to start giving off. And watch as they get into that corner. They're going to start pushing up the track. And whoever's on the outside better give them a little bit of room. If they don't let off, they're going to shove you right up in there with them.
Yeah. So Jenkins, Team Jenkins, as I like to call them, in 2nd and 4th right now, sandwiching Mark Vega. Stephen Parks has not let them get away. He's still holding on to that top 5 despite that near miss. He had a big crash there! Big crash, and that's Kevin Paskowicz involved again.
I can tell you right now, Paskowicz is not going to be a happy camper on that one. Let me go back.
Oh, that was a nerf from hell. And it resulted from Michael Atkins Jr. hitting that apron and trying to save it. Unfortunately, that's collected a lot of good drivers in that one. A lot of good drivers. That's the big one.
That is the big one.
Let's go back and take another look at Kevin Paskowicz's incident there. Take a look to the left-hand side of the screen at the 48 there. Watch how low he goes on the track. Collects that apron, sends the car sideways. He tries to save it, It just snaps right on him. And unfortunately, Kevin Paskowicz is in the right place at the wrong time. Robert Dudley caught in that as well.
Yeah, remember what I was saying earlier when I first got joined you up here in the booth, Sam? It was, if you got in the corner below that white line on the apron, it was going to cause you to get loose, and that was exactly what happened.
Yep, so Paskowicz going to bring it down pit road. Not a happy camper at all. Marcus Hagman, Robert Dudley, Johnny Antonucci, Hoop Baker, Charlie Woods also involved in that again. Michael Javarthan just getting away with it and staying out of the accident. But Marcus Hagman using his fast repair and getting back out, so he's had that in hand. Kevin Paskowicz unfortunately used his fast repair last time round. Kind of had that taken away from him at this point now.
Well, I can tell you, Kevin Paskowicz is thinking, Jenkins to the front of me, Atkins to the back of me. This ain't gonna, or he was in a bad news sandwich right there. Nothing. And he had a car that could run. She showed that he was able to come up and run with the leaders. He just had a spell of bad luck, like I did.
Yeah. So we're going to look at the pit lane here as the leader Jeff Hollingsworth did hit his marks pretty nicely going into his pit stall, gets away safely. He's going to come out in the lead, or is he? Because here goes Rob Jenkins. Jenkins might have won the race off pit road just there.
Oh, from my angle, it looked like Hollingsworth had it, but Jenkins didn't look like he got it. And if I'm looking at my timing and scoring correctly, Rob Jenkins is on the point.
Rob Jenkins winning the race off pit road by a nose. His brother Mark Jenkins getting off in 3rd place. Mark Vega in 4th, Stephen Parks in 5th. Kyle Zimmer, biggest mover so far, he is up in P6 right now.
Yeah, Kyle Zimmer coming in on the league, joining us. He's one of the Sim Possible guys that KP races with. Putting on a show tonight, holding his own with the heavyweights out here.
Yeah, make sure you check out Sim Possible. They run every Monday night and just before we do broadcast Pasky. So make sure you check those guys out. They are a league that is people with disabilities, maybe physical disabilities, learning disabilities, things like that. And they go out there to prove that they can keep up with the more well-able people. And like I said before, they could do it. They're definitely able to run with the big boys right in this sim.
No, I've dropped in and watched a few races where Kevin races with him because Kevin, everyone's seen that I run autism awareness and pH aware on my car, and Kevin runs pH aware and pH human on his car. So pulmonary hypertension is real, and it is a real disability. Kevin suffers with it, so therefore he's able to run with them in that league. And as good a wheelman as Kevin is, Kyle Zimmer, he's your defending champion. It's impossible.
Yeah, and just want to give a shout out again. Sim Possible do have a special event coming up in September, running on the channel that they're broadcast on. I can't remember which channel they're on, but make sure you check those guys out. They have a special event. It's their very own version of the Daytona 500 in September. It is a pay-to-play race. So if you want to join that race, it is open to abled and disabled people. So if you want to join, make sure you get your fees in soon, and it should be a good event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to run it myself, but with my work schedule, that's kind of hard to fathom this far out. Absolutely.
So, lights are due to go off on the pace car this time by. We've had a big haul of retirements in that last wreck. Pasky, Vose and Atkins are all out of this race. I forgot that Dylan Vose was actually caught up in that wreck. So unfortunate for him. That leaves only 13 left on the track. Ernie Ludwig and Robert Dudley, the only two drivers laps down, still on the track right now. Dudley has actually been in pit road for nearly 4 minutes, so his night might be done. Ernie Ludwig 2 laps down. Hoot Baker is 1 lap down. He was caught up in that last wreck as well. He's getting some damage fixed there. So as it stands right now, only 11 cars out on track here, Byron.
Yeah, and less than 50 laps to go. We got, 47 laps to slug this thing out. 3 attempts at a green-white checker here at Pasky's. Rob Jenkins holding down the field up on the point, but look who's sitting there, P2. He's been up front the whole night. He's kept his car clean, Jeff Hollingsworth, but I'm keeping my eyes on that 18 of Mark Vega. I am super impressed. Yeah,
he is our driver to watch tonight, as he's been proving. He hasn't missed a step since the last time we saw him on ESPN. The last time we saw him on ESPN, he has actually been racing. He raced in the trucks, I believe, at Pocono, I want to say. So,
no.
Yeah. What turn 4?
Yeah, ask Ronnie Osmer. He'll tell you what turn 4.
Byron, I believe it's your turn to get us going.
No, lights off on the Ford Mustang pace car as he leads us around turn 3-4 complex. That means we're going to fire him off in anger here, folks. Look for that Mustang. It's going to take that hard left turn into pit lane right about now. And Rob Jenkins has control of the field as I hear the loud pedal get mashed. And Rob Jenkins says, you know what? I'm out of here. Catch me if you can. But Jeff Hollingsworth says, no, you don't. Mark Jenkins says, no, you don't. Followed by Mark Vegas says, you know what? Throw a blanket over us. We're going to make this a slugfest.
I was expecting you to say Mark Vega to say, no, you don't. Actually, knowing Mark Vega, a few expletives might have come out as well in that same sentence. But running pretty lockstep right now. Vega trying to up for the outside line, see what he can sort of a run he can get there. He's going to get a very good run though on the outside line on Mark Jenkins there as they come out of turn 4. Got to drift up to the high line. Got to be alongside. Here comes Stephen Parks as well as Kyle Zimmer. And you're like half a second back to Johnny Antonucci there in P7.
Yep, throw a blanket over these top 6 right here. They are just hammer and tong 3 wide going to it.
Yeah, we're not expected to see many cautions from this point onwards. So, with 45 laps to go at the line, Rob Jenkins is your leader. Jeff Hollingsworth in second. Mark Jenkins in third. Kyle Zimmer has moved his way up to P4 now. Let's see what he can do in the closing parts of this race. And we're seeing proof right there that I just noticed that as well. We're seeing proof there that the guys with the disabilities can really hang it with the guys with the able guys here. Kyle Zimmer is proof of that right now.
Yes, he is, and his quality's dropping a little bit as he started flashing in and out, but now he's got a good connection back. Kyle Zimmer in that 25 Home Depot entry, just picking him up, putting him down. He's showing him.
Yeah. And we've got to try and convince Kyle to put another paint scheme on that car. I don't like Home Depot.
I wondered how long it would take you to notice that. Kevin and I were talking about that at the start of the race.
Yeah. So Rob Jenkins holding on for dear life, but the pressure's not coming from Jeff Hollingsworth. It's going to come from his own brother right now. As here comes Mark Jenkins now to the inside of Rob Jenkins. It's Jenkins versus Jenkins as they come down the back stretch now. Kyle Zimmer's right there behind Mark Jenkins. And, oh God, the gloves are going to come off now between these two brothers right now.
Oh yeah, Judy Jenkins, I know she's watching the race, and I know she's watching her sons race it out. It might be a broom come out and smack the heck out of these two, because you know what? They're going to get in that old-fashioned fist fight right here towards the end.
Oh, there's contact between the 33 and the 89. That's going to let Stephen Parks get to the inside.
Stephen Parks diving it down low. He had a 3 wide there for a little bit. But Mark Jenkins still bringing it out to the point. Rob Jenkins right behind him. Don't count out Steve Parks, Jeff Hollingsworth, and Kyle Zimmer yet, rounding out your top 5. Throw a blanket over the top 5. Top 6. Top 5 looks like they're running in a diamond formation. 3 wide right behind him.
Yeah, and Johnny Antonucci's starting to join the party as well as he's moving up to the back of Mark Vega. The lead pack before. Just absolutely got a monster draft, and now we have an 8-car battle for the lead now.
Yeah, it's time to, we always talk in the drivers' meeting, you can't win this race on the first lap, can't win it on the 20th or the 50th, not even the 100th, so take that respect. But towards the end of this race, when you get down to your last 40, 30, and 20 to go, that respect and that give and take is thrown right out the window. It's time to go for it. Hit the scramble button, and you're seeing it early right now.
Yeah, Hollingsworth back to the point now after dispatching Mark Jenkins. Rob Jenkins back there in P3. And Michael Javarthan has finally decided to make his way forward again. He's putting a challenge on Rob Jenkins for that 3rd spot.
Yeah, don't count any of them out. Everyone that's running in that top 6, top 7 cars right now, they're only all separated by less than a second. So it could be any one of these cars at the end of this thing.
Yeah, and don't count out Charlie Woods and Marcus Hagman. They're starting to close in on this top 7 as Stephen Parks has fallen well off the pace right now. The team is full.
Well, I don't know what Steve's going. We got 10 laps on fuel right now, and we got 40 laps to go in this race. 50 laps would be really trying to stretch it. So it's going to come down to, I think we have one more stop we're going to have to make on the fuel tank to get us to the end. Yeah,
I think they're bringing it down pit road around about the 40 lap mark, so they will need to bring it down again as they put a lap on Hoot Baker as they come out of turn 4. And Hollingsworth starting to stretch his legs. Look to behind Mark Jenkins. We've got some side-by-side action there between Rob Jenkins and Michael Javarthan. Javarthan still challenging for that top 3, and he finally gets it away from the 89.
Yeah, but that 89 cuts that corner. Notice how he dined in that corner. He went out wide on turn entry, brought it down low, and almost made that crossover move on the end of that corner. And look at the momentum he's carrying. They are going to be side by side for the next 4 or 5 laps. Watch this.
Yeah, Mark Jenkins all over the back of Hollingsworth now as well. We've got very close racing in the closing stages of this race. You do not want to go anywhere for this final pass. Kyle Zimmer almost loses it. Great save by the 25.
Yeah, it looked like Antonucci got up there a little too close to him, and he just kind of snapped it over. But what a save, folks.
Yeah, as he's going to lose the position to Marcus Hagman, but I think he's got to be thinking of the bigger picture right now. That could have ended his race right there.
Oh, yeah, it could have ended his race, but I guarantee it definitely changed the color of his fire suit.
Or as I like to call it, a Code Brown moment.
Yeah. It's all about the pucker.
So
Hollingsworth legging it out. Mark Jenkins in second. Look at that 31 entry of Michael Javarthan. I haven't had an opportunity to race with him, but when I was in this race, I was having so much fun with Charlie Woods and so much fun with Dylan Bose where I was at back and forth. But these guys are just putting on one heck of a show.
Well, I've known Michael Javarthan since back when he was we were broadcasting Go Fast Racing about a year ago, and he was winning left, right, and centre there. So it was no surprise to me that when we went to not Canadian Tire, when we went to Sonoma about a month ago, his first ever race with the league, he brought it to the track and he brought it to victory lane in his first ever race. So that was no surprise to me. He is a very talented driver and has been proving that since day one. And he's proving it again here tonight while challenging for a top 3 right now.
Yeah, looks like the top 5 have just settled out, rolling single file, just going to ride it out a bit. They know that it's a pushing issue. It's theirs to lose at this point. So let's just log some laps. Let's get within our fuel window. Let's hit that pit stop. I'm thinking these guys might divide that. They're, 14, 15 laps into it. They might be coming in around lap 125 if they split this stint, and that way they can get the most out of the tires for time and the most out of the fuel.
And one driver who we know would absolutely love to get a win tonight would be the man currently sitting in second place. That's Mark Jenkins. Has already seen his brother win twice this year, once in the trucks and once in the Cup Series. Would love to get a win of his own, and people have been saying that win is coming for Mark Jenkins. He just needs to get the execution right, and I'm guessing he's hoping he might be getting that execution right tonight, but he's got to get around Jeff Hollingsworth to do that, though.
Well, you know what? He's put on one heck of a race tonight, but you got to understand, racing's not just a physical thing. It's a mental thing. When we start getting to those closing stages and you're within that shot to make it, you get excited. You lose your concentration. You miss your mark by just a fraction of an inch. It's going to cause you to lose space on the track, if not go up into the wall. So let's hope that Mark can hold that concentration down, and we might just have a go for it. I'm looking at any one of these top 4 right now. It's theirs.
To go, we've got just under 35 laps remaining. Made that 34 laps, going to be 33 at the line. That back 4, led by Marcus Hagman right now, as Vega still continues to slide. Not finding the speed as Hagman hits the wall. Saved it. What a save there for Hagman.
Yeah, but he's going to scrub a lot of speed off. He's probably going to lose 2-3 positions out of that. But I look for Marcus to gather it back up and make a run for it at the end. Looks like he's been running that high line on that tire saving line, so he might have a little bit more for a little bit later. But coming down with 30 to go, I'm thinking, you know what? I'd have split this. If this was me, I'd have split it. 25 to go, fresh rubber, and get as much as I can out of it.
I keep thinking that Marcus should be driving a Chevrolet because he's letting Kyle Larson be his spirit guide right now. Anyway, Jeff Hollingsworth stepping out to a half a second lead now over Mark Jenkins. Mark Jenkins doing everything he can to keep Michael Trevathan behind him, and his brother Rob Jenkins is right there too. Not really seeing any gains from the guys behind them. Carl Zimmer actually extended his lead now over Mark Vega and Marcus Hagman. He's comfortably in the top 5 as it stands right now. But we've got 32. Anything can happen at this point.
Yeah, anything can happen. These guys right now are thinking strategy. They're thinking, okay, when should I come in? Me, personally, I said 25. Lap 125 they'd be in. I actually look for them to come in about lap 135. That'll give them 15 more laps to go on those tires. And plus, they keep it out there on the track and getting all the time that they can to stay out to 135. They can do that on fuel, get 4 fresh tires and get the most they can out of it. But the caution comes out. That's a great equalizer. That happens, we're going to re-rack them, stack them, and pack them, and then you got to run what you brung.
Yeah. And like I said before, with the amount of cars that are left on the track, only 12, it has to be said, there should not be any cautions at this point in the race. But with the way these guys are flirting with the wall right now...
Well, you get 20 laps on those tires right now, so there's not much grip. I noticed the car was pushing late in the run, so they're having to back up that corner. But what I mean by back up the corner is get off the throttle a lot earlier than you normally would, so you can get that turn in, and then you can power off that corner. But as you're powering off that corner, you're turning, it's tight, and that's where you turn the steering wheel. You say, hey, car, turn left, and the car says, nah, I think I'm gonna go straight. And you keep putting a little more steering wheel into it. Car says, come on, I want to turn left, and the car's like, nah, we're gonna go straight. And if you go straight on a track that's an oval, guess what? You're going to run into a wall.
Yeah, and just as we say that, look at the gap coming down between Mark Jenkins and Jeff Hollingsworth. It looks like they found some speed. They've decided they're going to work together and try and catch this man in the 42 that keeps winning these goddamn races every week. Somebody else needs to...
You gotta respect him though, man. He knows how to hit his marks. He's putting a clinic on clean laps. He's running clean laps. He's not overdriving the car. He's not underdriving it. He is driving it right there out on that razor's edge, and he's done this enough and put enough practice time in. He knows where that edge is. That's why you always see him. The cream rises to the crop.
And absolutely, that brings true to the fact that the saying that practice does indeed make perfect. Mark Jenkins and the guys behind him doing everything they can to close the gap, though, and they are doing so. They've got it to about 0.2 of a second now from the half a second deficit that they had before. So they are driving the... And Kyle Zimmerman has got to within a second with these guys now, so he's on a run now.
Yeah, but also get this too. There's three guys right behind Hollingsworth. They're not only just running right behind Hollingsworth, they're watching. They're watching what he's doing. They're watching how he's getting around here. So whether Jeff Hollingsworth likes it or not, he's got three guys sitting under his learning tree figuring out, okay, now I see how to do it. Now they got to figure out how to get around him. Because catching is one thing, passing is something else. And it looks like Mark Jenkins is getting ready to make that move.
Yeah. Now, as the Smith song goes. You see what I did there?
Yeah. I was taking a sip of something and you damn near made me choke on it.
Yeah. I love that song. It's one of my favourite songs ever. Just shut your mouth. Anyway, Mark Jenkins now trying to get that gap ever closer. He's got right up to the bumper now of the 42 as they make their way towards turn 1. We have 26 laps remaining. Here comes Trevathan now.
Trevathan, look at that inside line. He's not getting the first groove off of that. But with tires that are 25 laps old, he's going to be able to hold that low line without washing up into the side of things.
Well, here's the thing. Trevathan has got fresher tires than Jenkins. So he can still make those moves. And it's a bit of a reprieve for Mark Jenkins because he left that door open for Trevathan. The lucky thing is that Trevathan did not take the advantage of that.
Yeah, we're coming down to 25 to go. So now is my point in the race where I'm going to say who's going to flinch first and take a pit side for their money stop.
Yeah, and again, don't count. Half a second now. He's managed to completely get away from Hagman. As Vega is the first one to blink. He's going to come down pit road right now.
Yeah, Vega, I noticed he's been making those short pits. And that'll work out for him on timing because I noticed he short pitted when I was out on the track. And I got around him, but oh my God, he had 20 lap pressure tires and he blew by me like I had the car in reverse.
Yeah, he's down and away, and he will get back out on track again as the leaders go by.
Usually when one goes, when the first one blinks, the rest of the dominoes start falling. How many more laps is our leader going to hold it out there? Is he hoping that there's a caution? Because if a caution comes out, Vega, he'd be hating life. Hollingsworth would be loving it. But the longer Hollingsworth holds it out there, you watch, Vega's going to turn lap times. It'll be a second to 2 seconds faster than these leaders out there on old tires are doing.
Yeah, and everybody knows the tail, and it looks like Kyle Zimmer might be coming down pit road, and he is. So the first of the leaders to bring it down now.
Man, look at that. Mark Jenkins, he gets underneath Jeff Hollingsworth, and he pilots it up to the point. Hollingsworth swings wide, lets him go by. Treverton in third, followed by Rob Jenkins. So we got between first and fourth, the other two guys are in a Jenkins sandwich.
Yeah, Trevathan still in third, but Jeff Hollingsworth might be a clever strategy there for the man in the 42. Gotta use the draft behind the 33 to possibly use it as an advantage to save his tires and fuel, maybe.
I don't see where you could do that because you've got Mark Vega out there. I'm waiting for him to come up to his next lap around. Jeff Hollingsworth turned to lap 41.1, and I'm waiting to see what Mark Vega on fresh tires does.
A 40.585.
Okay, you're looking at a second a lap faster. He's not in a draft, so if he gets up, Mark Vega catches up to some cars and gets in a draft, he's going to be running a second a lap faster. And that equates, think about it, folks, 10 laps, that's 10 seconds. 10 seconds is a long way of real estate on this thing.
But just... We're hearing another one coming down pit road, I believe. No, I was lying. I was wrong. But look at Kyle Zimmer. He's come out comfortably ahead of Mark Vega. We're going to be looking at the lap times he'll be setting down now because he is running a lot faster than the 18 right now. And I was right. It was Marcus Hagman bringing it to pit road. And Rob Jenkins is starting to fall away now.
Yes, he is. Rob Jenkins is falling way back. But I'm watching Kyle Zimmer come around. He's going to cross the start-finish line, and I'm going to look for his first lap. Mark Vega ran a 40.2. His out lap coming right now for Kyle Zimmer. As Rob Jenkins takes it pit side, Kyle Zimmer, he rolls a lap off at, click, click, 40.3, and that was on an out lap. So look for him to get quicker.
Yeah, Mark Jenkins, the only driver to stay out. That might hurt him in the long run, but we'll find out.
Out there holding it wide, holding it out there as well.
Yeah, and we've currently got Hollingsworth, Travathan, Rob Jenkins, and Charlie Woods in pit road right now. Who's going to win the race off pit road here? And it's going to be Michael Travathan. No, is it? No. I was a bit premature there. I apologise. It's going to be Jeff Hollingsworth winning the race off pit road. Michael Travathan is... Travathan's in trouble here. Travathan has come off pit road a long time after Rob Jenkins, and that is because he could not get into his pit box. Big mistake on pit road for Michael Travathan.
Yep, 5-second difference between Jeff Hollingsworth. No, 10-second difference between Jeff Hollingsworth's pit stop and Michael Travathan. That's, missing your marks. We don't call it the money stop for nothing, folks.
Yeah, question is, when will this man bring it down? That is Mark Jenkins. He's already got a 10-second lead over Johnny Antonucci. Jeff Hollingsworth has managed to keep it on the lead lap through his pit stop, so that might work in his favour at this point in the race.
Yeah, because I'm noticing it's taking anywhere between 40 and 45 seconds to get 4 tires and a tank of fuel on pit road. And now I'm talking about the time it takes you to enter pit road, drive to your pit, get your service, and get out. Everyone has done 40 to 46 second pit stops. So 3 cars in front of Hollingsworth right now. Hollingsworth is 36 seconds behind the leader. He's going to come out looking, smelling like a rose on this thing when those top 3 decide to pit it finally.
Yeah, and the man with actually the fastest lap of the race so far tonight is Michael Travathan with a 39.164. So he currently holds the fastest lap of the race. Unfortunately, we don't run under Formula 1 rules, and we don't give bonus points for fast... Oh, we do give bonus points for fastest laps. I do apologise. So, yeah, he's got the fastest lap bonus point right now.
39.164. That's called just hauling the mail.
164, yeah. That's a pretty big gap.
Which reminds me, I need to talk to Charlie Woods.
Uh-oh.
When I was racing with him earlier in the race tonight, if you take a look at the back of his car, it says United States Postal Service, and all I could think of while I was looking at it was, man, he's really hauling the mail. Well, duh.
You see it right there at the back of his car. I've not had good... When I bought my current computer from America, USPS pretty much almost... Well, they damaged the case on my computer, so...
Yeah, I would have advised a different shipping entity other than USPS myself, but hey.
It is.
Got there, it's working.
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be broadcasting right now.
Mark Jenkins still holding down the point. Johnny Antonucci still holding it out there. These guys have got 35 laps on their tires. You got to be wondering, At what point do you guys going to bring it in? Because everyone else behind you is gaining ground on fresh rubber.
Yeah, and Jeff Hollingsworth is only 38 seconds behind the lead now, so...
Unless they're going to Carl Edwards it and, run half speed around the track to take that win. Remember when he did that at Charlotte?
Yep, I've seen it many times here on iRacing as well, so... Just under 15 laps to go, it's a bit of a far stretch.
Yeah, and they're not, when I'm looking at timing and scoring on HBO, their speeds aren't dropping off at all. So, yeah, they're going to have to bring it pit side. 44 laps was about what a full tank of fuel could stretch to if you did it right. And I don't think that they can do 9. Well, shoot, they might be able to stretch it.
Let's not forget Stephen Parks is out there as well. He's running in P3. He's the other driver that's not taking a pit side just yet. He's got Jeff Hollingsworth all over his back end. And look at this. This is a battle for the potential for the overall lead here. Kyle Zimmer is working to the outside of Jeff Hollingsworth. It could be a big move here for Zimmer.
Oh, Hollingsworth, Parks, and Zimmer send it in 3 wide. Gloves are off, man. They're not giving anything. They're taking everything they can.
And Zimmer potentially to the overall lead here. Rob Jenkins is right there as well. So Hollingsworth, after negotiate his way through lap traffic here, could be in a bit of trouble at the end of this race as Rob Jenkins is looking to the outside of the 42 now.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to race against Kyle before I was taken out of the race. Kyle knows how to make a 6-foot car wide look 20 feet wide to the car behind him. Trust me.
And Rob Jenkins has just got around him as well now. I wonder if there's problems in that 42 car, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'm looking at the lap counter. I'm looking 5 laps to go in this race. 6 laps to go in this race. That would make Mark Jenkins have to go straight to the 44 lap mark. He's got to be running that car on fumes by now.
There's 12 laps to go.
Okay. 12 laps. He ain't going to make it.
Definitely not going to make it, but he's still out there.
So I can't count.
You can if you put your mind to it.
You know, I can count to 21 if well, never mind.
Antonucci's on pit road. He's the first of that 3-2. Bring it down right now. He is going to make his money stop right now, but I got to think he's going to be hurt badly from this pit stop.
Yeah, he's going to drop down to around about the, I'm going to put him down around the 8th position when he comes back out.
Yeah. So here comes Jeff. Carl Zimmer's up to second place.
Kyle Zimmer's got second legitimately right now, and Mark Jenkins, there is no way. He's got 40 laps. There's no way he's going to stretch that tank to 50 laps.
And the interesting thing is that Michael Javarthan now has found his way by Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth has fallen way off the pace.
Wondering if Hollingsworth didn't catch a wall somewhere.
I wonder if Jeff Hollingsworth only took 2 tires.
You know what? Jeff Hollingsworth, his last pit stop was awful short.
Yep.
He may have only took 2, and he's just feeling the tire fall off now. Strategy is everything. Your decisions, you live and you die by them, you know. He made the decision to take 2. It may have sounded good at the beginning of that. Maybe he was hoping for a quick caution. I don't know. But right now, Michael Trevarthen, he's past Kyle Zimmer. He's got the overall race lead when I just got to say it. Mark Jenkins is going to run out of gas.
Yeah, and he's got Mark Vega right behind him and Marcus Hagman.
Yep,
And
Mark Jenkins blinks and takes a pit side.
yeah, and you got to expect. Oh, Johnny Antonucci, he didn't fall to P8, he fell to P10 through his pit stop.
Ugh.
So
And this one for Mark Jenkins is going to hurt even worse.
And Stephen Parks has not pitted yet either. He is pretty much out of fuel at this point, and he's down in P8 and he hasn't pitted yet. He's been overtaken by the people that have pitted before him.
Now, these were all people that were hoping for a caution. They were counting on a caution. They were looking for the great equalizer. Didn't happen. 8 laps to go.
We've got problems here for Mark Jenkins. Mark Jenkins has got a penalty. He's out. His race is done. 21 seconds in pit road. He has had to suffer a penalty there.
That had to be speeding on pit entry.
Yeah, it's a 5-second penalty he's had. He's had a 5-second penalty. That has put pay to his chances of winning here tonight and probably a chance of a top 5 with Stephen Parks. Even Stephen Parks on 42 lap old tyres manages to get around him.
Now Stephen Parks is probably going to bring a pit side this go round, and we'll have to see where he falls out. Stephen Parks is vying for that. He may have a shot at coming back out ahead of Mark Jenkins.
Same lap as him. Mark Jenkins just... Oh, they're trying to bring out a caution? But anyway, Michael Trevarthen, through the pit stops, has found himself back in the lead here. And he's only led 6 laps of this race, so using pit strategy to his advantage here. Rob Jenkins has found his way up to 2nd place. Carl Zimmer up to 3rd. Not sure what's happened to Jeff Hollingsworth. He has fallen off the pace and is 5 seconds off the lead now. Make it 6 seconds.
Yeah, well, you know what? Michael Trevarthen may have only led 7 laps of this race, but folks, you only got to lead 1, and that's the last one.
Yeah, as we are coming to 5 laps to go here at Auto Club. They're making their way down the backstretch. There will be 5 laps to go at the line. And unless Rob Jenkins can pull a miracle out of his hat, this race is pretty much Michael Trevarthen's to lose at this point.
Yeah, Michael Trevarthen's doing what we call holding a pretty wheel. I mean, he's got it steady. He's hitting his marks. It's really going to take a lack of concentration is the only thing that's going to kill him at this point.
Yeah, Carl Zimmer starting to fall off the pace. He's got 18 laps on his tyres compared to the 15 on Trevarthen's and Rob Jenkins, as Marcus Hagman moves up to 4th place.
You don't call him the world's fastest Swede for nothing.
Well, it's just more of a slight on Jeff Hollingsworth. He continues to fall backwards. It's more or less confirmed to me now that Hollingsworth only took 2 on that last pit stop.
Yeah, I may have to drop down and ask him about that strategy decision. But like I said, man, when you make a decision, you got to have the courage to follow up and follow through with it. He did, and he's paying for it. I was pretty sure he's counting on a quick yellow, and it didn't come out.
So everything pretty spread out right now. We are 4. Can Rob Jenkins do anything to close that gap between himself and Michael Trevarthen?
He's doing everything he can right now to close that gap between himself and Michael Trevarthen.
Yeah. I mean, he's been on absolute rails here tonight in that 89. Had that incident coming out of turn 4 and hit the wall that made that really, really early pit stop, but managed to rebound. I spoke to him during the caution. He seemed very upbeat about getting that caution to come out. He said that it looks like the racing gods were smiling upon him as Stephen Parks finally brings a pit side, by the way.
Well, to tell you the honest truth, Sam, I got a call for a vote, our ESPN driver of the night. And to me, anyone that goes from the penthouse back to the outhouse, back up to the penthouse, has got to have my vote. And I'm going to call that to, even though the show that Michael Trevarthen has put on, I'm going to give it to Rob Jenkins for, having trouble early in the race and showing what stick-toing it can do.
Absolutely. So the ESPN driver of the night.
My vote, the 89 of Rob Jenkins.
There you go, the ESPN, I mean. My God, my spelling is terrible. So there you go, the ESPN. The ESPN driver of the night is Rob Jenkins, as voted by Byron Rodney. So congratulations going out to him, but it will make it even more sweeter if you can get up to the back of Trevarthen. But with the white flag coming out now, it's looking next to impossible, as we do have the white flag out. Only 4 more corners left for the 31 here, Byron.
Yep, next flag's going to end the race here. 31's got a happy, he's got it. As long as he doesn't just put it straight into the wall, it's his race to lose, you know. Hats off to Michael Travarta. What a run.
Absolutely, as they come through 3 and 4.
I want to take a notice of Michael Travarta. He's going to cross the line right now. It's crossing the start-finish line. There's your race winner. Rob Jenkins bringing home second place. Kyle Zimmer in third. Hey.
On his debut.
I want you to focus on P4 and P5. Look who come back up in that race.
Now, Marcus Hagman and Mark Vega, 4th and 5th in the race, respectively. And the wheels came completely off for the man in the 42. That would be Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth. But that is your winner right there, Mr. Michael Trevarthen. We are going to step away for a quick commercial break before we get the interviews done. Do not go anywhere. You'll want to hear what they have to say.
It's Top Fuel Racing, live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
And welcome back here to Auto Club. We have had probably one of the best races we've seen all season here on the West Coast. And way here, and we are going to bring in the one man that's brought it home to victory lane, and I believe he's with Byron right now.
Yeah, Michael Trevarthen, this is Byron Rodney, ESPN. I was out on the track with you earlier tonight, but jumped up here in the booth with Sam after I got a car to the face. Congratulations on the win, man. Talk me through how you were able on strategy and then just flat drove around Hollingsworth, drove around Zimmer, drove around Jenkins to get up there and lead that last lap.
Yeah, I wasn't sure that the 4 tires and a can of fuel was the right call. I had it clicked for 2 tires, and I knew how bad the car was pushing up towards the wall, you know, at speed. So I just went ahead and clicked 4 and hoped and prayed, and it worked out. So I noticed those guys were just taking fuel only and 2 tires, and like I said, I know we were pretty close nose to tail for a pretty good many laps there, and no sense in jockeying back and forth. Like I said, you second, third get to jockeying and watch the leader walk away. So just kind of lined up there, and just the pit strategy worked out. Had a little bit of a rough start there. Looks like the pack got right behind me there and took the took the air off the spoiler and it just drifted right in the wall. So definitely wind coming from behind, chasing the car all night. Got back up there and stole it from him.
Yeah, and it was a clinic on driving. I seen how you did it. We saw Jeff Hollingsworth come into the pits on his money stop on that last stop and take 2 tires and get out there and actually walk away from guys for just a few laps. I think he was counting on a quick caution, but 4 tires was the name of the game at the end of that thing there. Congratulations on the win, man. Anyone you want to throw a shout out to?
Yeah, definitely throw a shout out to you guys in the booth. You guys do an awesome job. I like watching it. KP putting on these races, like I said, a lot of fun. And I'd like to give a shout out to Metalhead Motorsports. I know Dylan had a little bit of a rough night and Jeff couldn't make it. Josh couldn't be with us, but my wife Melinda, my son Jack in South Carolina, like I said, great raceman.
Yeah, I was gone for a few weeks because I run this league with Kevin. I come in here and I log in on my TeamSpeak and I say, hey, there's a new channel there. And I just want to say welcome and look forward to racing with you guys going forward.
Thanks, Byron. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome. As that was race winner, Mr. Michael Trevathan. Coming down to the booth now and joining me in the booth will be our second place finisher right now, if I can find. There he is. And joining me in the booth now is the man that finished second, is Rob Jenkins. Rob, we spoke earlier and you said the racing gods were smiling down on you. They must have been really doing something for you tonight because you managed to bring it home on the podium.
Yeah, man, it was a really good run. Enjoyed that. Kind of lined up there with Jeff and my brother and Michael. Figured it out. We all just kind of were able to pull away from everybody else, kind of settle between us.
Absolutely. And after that incident that made you take the early pit stop, like you said to me earlier, the racing gods were smiling down on you because that caution came out. What did you have to do from that point to try and get yourself back to the point? It looked like the pit stop really worked out for you at the end there, but it looked like just before the pit stop came out, you fell well off the pace. Was that?
Yeah, you kind of broke up a little bit there, but yeah, I just messed up. We were talking on the radio, and I thought those guys were pitting that time, and so I got off the gas, and I was like, dope. So kind of forced my hand and decided to take 2 tires there and a little bit of fuel, and I think Jeff was on no tires, and Michael was on 4, and that ended up being the strategy there that won the race.
Absolutely. Well, you just on a good note. I'm sorry for my mic breaking up. It's a bit trash right now, but you also, by vote of Byron, you did pick up the ESPN driver of the night, but simply because you went from the penthouse to the outhouse, back to the penthouse again. So you did pick up the ESPN driver of the night. So congratulations for that one.
Yeah, man, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, I really, honestly, I messed up and pancaked the wall there off of 4 and really didn't mean to pit, just kind of got shoved down on the pit road, had a 15-second penalty. It was just a mess. And but took 4 tires, and because everybody had to pit, just the way it worked out, I mean, if it had stayed green for probably another 10 or 15 laps, I'd have been a lap down again and, you know, fighting like heck. But really worked out.
Absolutely. Well, looking ahead to next week, we head back east as we go to Charlotte Motor Speedway. What are your thoughts going into that one?
Yeah, we should do pretty well there. Ran there last night, I think, in another league in B cars, and a lot of grip and a lot of fun. Should be a good time.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the second place. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Just you, man. We really appreciate what you do, and appreciate KP and the league, and just these guys that lined up with me there. It's good racing with them. I want to give a shout out to Michael. He did a heck of a job. He deserves it. He's a good racer. Enjoyed being around him. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Rob Jenkins and the Jenkins Construction number 89 bringing home second place. Rob, congratulations one more time, and we'll see you next week at Charlotte.
All right, Sam. Thanks a lot, man. Have a good night.
So that was our second place finisher, Mr. Rob Jenkins. We don't have Kyle Zimmer because Unfortunately, of his disability, we can't speak to him. But we do have in his place one man that has finished in the top 5 tonight. That would be Mr. I believe, Byron, you have him right there now.
Yeah, Mr. Marcus Hagman. I'm up here in the booth, not on the track. Dude, that was one heck of a I gotta hand it to you. Way to come back from slapping that wall there and grabbing up into the 4th position.
Yeah, that was I had good speed, conserving tires, and saving a little bit of fuel.
Yeah, we saw guys, a couple of guys on the track try to stretch it, and I was surprised to see him stretch. What was it, 48 laps out of the tank? But you know what? They come up 3 laps short at the end of the race. It looked like money stops were all about. We saw someone catch a penalty. Another guy didn't go in when he should have, and it just cycled around. You were actually able to grab that 4th position. Hats off to you, man. I don't call you the world's fastest Swede for nothing.
Yeah, and I knew stretching it that many laps was nearly impossible. And man, he was quite slow at the end there, saving fuel. But
well, we take it from a 2-mile oval, the sister track to Michigan. We just raced Auto Club. Next week looks like Charlotte. What's your opinion?
I like it. Hopefully, I can be there. But time will tell.
Well, time will tell, and I hope that you're there. I hope that I'm there. So I know Sam's going to be here. One heck of a show, man. Way to go.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go, Marcus?
Well, everybody.
All right, Marcus. Well,
ladies and gentlemen, now you know why it is so entertaining when we do our special event endurance races. When we throw together 4 or 5 different cars for Team ESPN on a 24-hour endurance race. Now you know how we all stay interested and happy and focused through the whole race.
The company is more interesting than the race, really.
Absolutely. Well, Marcus, congratulations on the top 5, and we'll hopefully see you next week.
Yeah, I hope so.
So that was Marcus in the booth with us. In the booth with us right now is a man that probably didn't have the best of races, just finished outside the top 10. Mr. Hoot Baker, thank you for joining us in the booth. A pretty tough one for you tonight.
Well, you know, we get around and we get around. Made a couple. I think I got one black flag there, and I got mixed up. Tried to run it back, do my attrition thing, and but got run over from behind on the first caution. Rode around with some damage and didn't take that fast repair until about the last 20 laps. But you know, I'll take that P11. You know, it's all about the points, baby.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm jealous of you and your P11 there, Hoot. I caught a car to the face, so I was out early. But we watched you working around there. I was rooting for that top 10 for you, but Stephen Parks decided to spoil your show.
Yeah, I mean, Steve was actually up on the TeamSpeak with me and all that, and we got to the point where we realized that neither one of us was going to happen. He was running short on fuel, and we just couldn't get together and you know, move up together like we did when I got that podium a few weeks back. And you know, but it was good times tonight, man. We run clean for a long time, and you know, you get what you get, and I appreciate everybody, and we had a good time, I think.
Yeah, well, I know I had a good time, and I know you had a good time. Where was the taco wagon, man? What was on the taco wagon? You were in California. You didn't even put out any tacos. Come on now.
Yeah, caught up with other business, man. I haven't been real good on the food tonight, but you know, I was concentrating on driving, and well, maybe I ought to concentrate on tacos. So I'm running in the back anyway.
There you go. Well, hey, you know what? Charlotte next week. So
I just seen your comment in the live chat. Who that made me laugh. He says, fake news, Hoot Baker won the race.
Oh, yeah. You know, that's, hey, if we're judging on a curve, man, it's all me.
Hey, Hoot, just tell me you don't have any information on the Clintons, so I know you'll be okay and not be committing suicide anytime
soon. Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah, that was a little too soon. But
yeah,
you know, we'll just keep trucking around, man. I appreciate you guys putting on a race every week, and Byron, it's good to see you in the race there. We haven't seen you in a while, and you know, look forward to seeing you a little more.
Yeah, well, my work schedule kept me off one week. I had a family obligation. Well, emergency that kept me off another week. And I had, something else that came up on the previous week. So it was like 3 weeks without doing it. I jump in this thing and just go, damn, I missed this. But I'll be back next Friday. We're going to be in Charlotte. Can't wait for that one. And if I'm not mistaken, tomorrow night, NASCOM online Saturday night, I'm going to be broadcasting. We're going to be putting nothing but a bunch of sheet metal in a high-speed blender called Bristol.
Oh, God. Good luck with that one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I may actually try to get in that one if I can get Mark or somebody to maybe throw me a setup in there in the practice. But also, hey, before we get off here, just one last shout-out to a man knows travelers might be watching there is Bob Lacavera,
Oh, yeah, I saw the pictures he was posting from over the desert in Tunisia.
Yeah,
Bob's a man of leisure,
Yeah, Bob is also a man that I got to be honest with you. I got life goals, and one of my life goals on my bucket list is I'm going to go flying with him. He's not that far away. I'm going to get in the air with him.
Yeah, you're currently sunning up down in Johannesburg right now, so...
Yeah, well, I'm not going that far to get in the air with him.
Right. Well, okay. Well, I don't want to interrupt on the broadcast. I just thought I'd shout out to Bob there. We're thinking about him, and hopefully we'll see him next week.
Hopefully we will.
Absolutely. Well,
Thanks,
tough race for yourself, but always good to talk to you. Byron, before we go to the results, final thoughts on tonight's race. I know it was tough for yourself.
It was tough for me, but I'm going to say that this track was a lot of fun. Even though the car tightened up on old tires, we still have multiple lanes that we could run. We can bring it up, we can bring it down, and still hang on to it with control. It's a fun track, and when you notice that the game chat is down, guys are concentrating, guys are having fun, guys are racing. This was a fun race. I'm looking forward to Charlotte. It's going to be a lot more challenging on the 1.5 miles in Charlotte, a lot more on and off the throttle than we were here. As far as I can say, congratulations, Michael Treverton. He put on one heck of a show for us. Rob Jenkins, the ESPN driver of the night, from taking it from the top to the bottom to the top again. And Kyle Zimmer in his inaugural race with the Paskies, bringing it home on the podium in P3. It don't get no better than this.
Absolutely, and with that, we are going to go to our results for tonight's race. As Byron just alluded to, Michael Trevarthen using the pit strategy and bringing home the win here tonight. Great result for him. Rob Jenkins, ESPN driver of the night. He comes up in second place, and Carl Zimmer on his debut rounds out your top three. Marcus Hagman in fourth, and Mark Vega, a great race for him. He gets a top 5 here tonight. Jeff Hollinsworth, what could have been a hit for him tonight if he'd have took more tyres. He has to settle for 6th place, and Johnny Antonucci in P7. Charlie Woods in P8. Mark Jenkins after a penalty having to settle for P9. And Stephen Parks rounds out your top 10, Byron.
Yeah, Hoop Baker bringing it home in the 11th position, followed by Ernie Ludwig. Robert Dudley, I had a lot of fun racing with him earlier in the race. He brings it home P13, unfortunately caught up in that incident between Kevin Paskowitz and Michael Atkins Jr. Kevin Paskowitz bringing it home 14th, Dylan Vos in 15th. 16th goes to Michael Atkins Jr. I came home in the 17th position, and rounding out your field, finishing shotgun, Harrison Chandler, who didn't actually get a chance to make the start.
No, he did not, but regardless, we had 18 drivers turn up for tonight, so a good field for this race at Auto Club. And what a race we've seen here tonight, and looking ahead, as Byron already mentioned, we have NASCAR live from Bristol, so make sure you tune in for that one. Sunday we have a double feature for you, as we have the finale of the Top Fuel Summer Light Series, as they take place at Indianapolis, 90 laps around there. You do not want to miss that one. And then from Indianapolis also we have the Sim Racing Authority League, as they race the next round in their truck series. The Sim Graphics Truck Series is going to be very good to race around there. Then Monday we are off to Bristol again, as we head to Pasky's and the Cardiac Truck Series. And then is in the booth from Gateway. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Just give one more shout out to what we have coming up in the future, and that is the ESPN Fast Talk podcast. That's going to be something in the works. That'll be coming to us very soon. Byron, what are your thoughts on the podcast coming up?
You know what? Podcast is going to be great. It's going to be a chance to interact with everyone that is a fan of sim racing, everyone that participates in it. We have the opportunity to talk to iRacing themselves. We have the opportunity to talk to guys that know how to do setups. We have the opportunity to talk to guys that use this platform to raise awareness for other things. It's going to be amazing. Look for several different segments, several different hosts with every different take of flavor. ESPN bringing you fast talk. It's going to be great.
Absolutely, and with that is going to be an interesting thing to bring up. I mean, we've had this in the works for a while, me, yourself, and Adam. It's a shame Tony couldn't be with us for this one, but his problems are currently ongoing, and hopefully we'll have him back here soon. So Tony, big youth sooner rather than later. But yeah, the podcast coming up, it's going to be one hell of a show to put on. We'll be speaking to drivers, iRacing officials, setup guys, real life professional drivers. Going to be interesting. We're also going to have a lot of fun up in the booth for that one. But make sure you check out Fast Talk Podcast presented by ESPN. Definitely something you're not going to miss. Before we go, one more shout out to the channel's sponsors. That's iRacing, iFlag. Make sure you go to iRacingiflag.com and check out what they have on offer. And if you do decide to buy something, make sure you put in the promo code esports2019 and get yourself 15% off whatever you buy on that website. So why not go to iRacingiflag.com and check out what they got there today. So for the final time here tonight, well, sorry Brian, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, go for it. You got that whole thing. I was going to bring up the iRacing iFlag that, yeah, there's one on this way. I'm not going to, I'll take pictures of it and send it to you when it comes in.
Looking forward to seeing that. But for now, that is going to do it for us here tonight at Auto Club. An exciting race, and one man in the 31 brings it home after making pit strategy work to absolute perfection here. So with that being said, congratulations to him, the top three, and everybody else that finished here tonight. All that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will see you tomorrow night with Byron in the booth as we head to Bristol with NASCAR Online. Have a good night.
Good night.